Hello, hello, hello. All right, let us just connect with our bodies, with ourselves, and with each other. I'm going to be pulling from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So the images are inspired by the classic Rider-Waite style, but updated to show how humans look these days. So how are you these days? Let's just kind of take a few moments before we even start shuffling, just check in with that. Yeah, let's take a few breaths together. Let's breathe in. And breathe out. Breathing in through the nose. And exhaling. Good. Take in another breath. And let it out nice and slowly. Good. Just taking these next few moments to center yourself, whatever that means for you. Feeling that ground underneath you, whatever parts of the body are making contact downward. You might notice the exhales as you feel that downward connection. Noticing the line of your spine. And if there is anything you're entering this practice with, any questions, any inquiries, feel free to send them out. Send them out to these cards. Let's take a few moments to notice our heart space. Maybe you connect there physically. Maybe you just bring the awareness there. Just noticing the chest region. Noticing where the shoulders might be, if they're rounding forward or if they're broad and out. Good, yeah. Just what's lying here in your heart. All right. Yeah, staying in the heart. Let's just take a few breaths together here. Let's breathe in through the nose again. And exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. And taking another deep breath in. And out. Okay. show you what we got here. First card in this page of cups here. This is not the best one. Oh, that looks much better. Okay, so yeah, we have kind of steady waters in the back, but she's on solid ground. There's a sense of contemplation, maybe hesitation with the hand behind the back. And there's a little fish friend in there, homage to the traditional Rider-Waite deck. It's kind of talking to what is held in your cup, having a relationship with what you're holding. And it being cups, of course, the realm of emotions and water. When we were in our heart space, this is the card I drew. It's connecting with what is in the heart. We have the Three of Swords here. So this is an air card. So even though we have an image of a heart, it is more mental process, how we perceive, how we visualize what's going on up here, reflecting out through here. This isn't the easiest card in the deck. You can just see visually that there's a sense of like piercing, maybe even some woundedness. And then I pulled the Hermit. I love this representation of the Hermit. We can kind of see almost church-like. So she's in like a sense of like solitude, but sanctuary. I love the barefootedness, the really grounding down and connecting fully and deeply. And she's touching her own heart here. So here's what they all look like together in order of how they were pulled. I have 2 hands and 3 cards. Here we go. So here they are in relationship with one another. We have 2 figures and then something that's a little more metaphysical here. And they all kind of share different colors, different tones. And I think verbally, I'm going to take some time to really think about my words before I connect all 3 of these together. I find that there's a lot of responsibility when you're reading these archetypes to not project. So let's start with the Three of Swords, though. Let's start with connecting with our heart and with any wounds that might be in the heart. This may not be an easy practice, but it's an important one. So let's cross our hands one over the other, just on top of our chest. So the right hand comes to the left part of our chest. You might feel your pectoral muscle, maybe a little bit of a massage too. That right crosses over as well. Doesn't matter which wrist is on top here. Just kind of feel that you're crossing over, crossing in. And there's this sense of like protection as well as the connection. Yeah, and notice the breath and really ride waves with the breath, feeling it fill and empty underneath your hands. We're going to give ourselves some time to be still and be a little bit silent so we can listen to any messages that might be coming up, anything that's stored in this part of our body. It might not come in English. Maybe it comes as more of a sensation, but really kind of tune in here. Is there anything that's being held in this heart space? Anything that creates a little sense of heaviness, perhaps? A little bit of weight, a little bit of depth, a little bit of tenderizing. Maybe some disappointment. You might bow the head down a little bit. Good. Actively engage with the dialogue to your heart. Actively engage with your breath. Really feeling that movement underneath the hands here. Take some time just feeling the heat of your hands coming down, feeling the softness of your top layer, maybe the sturdiness of your rib cage. You feel that. Let's ask ourselves, how have my greatest challenges empowered me? This piercing in the heart, maybe some pain or heartache. How has that empowered you? It's okay if you don't have an answer right away. Can you enter sorrow with reverence? Good. Let all of the breath out with your next exhale. Just let it all out, 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 and kind of hang out with nothing inside before you take your next breath. Just for a moment to feel that emptiness. And whenever you do breathe in again, notice that new life entering. You might let it out as a sigh whenever you exhale next. Good. And let's bring our fingertips and just kind of tap along our sternum here. Kind of going up and down the sternum from like the clavicles, kind of down the rib cage and the center midline. Yeah, just gentle little taps here. Good. Yeah, wake yourself up a little bit. Wonderful. So just going up and down one more time and then kind of getting to the center with your fingertips. Good. And then just pause with the fingertips stacked, interlaced on top of one another throughout the collarbone region here. We're just going to kind of glide and slide our hands out towards our armpits, towards our shoulders. We're going to do that a few times, just like a little self-massage, just encouraging some growth and movement outward. So you might feel kind of across the muscle fibers, And yeah, sending it towards the armpit. So this is one of the regions in our lymphatic system where we drain and we let go of stuff. We release stuff through our bodies. So it's one way that we can help release. Yeah, and now that we're focusing by our armpits here and our shoulders, let's bring our hands to our shoulders and just make some rolls, make some movement here. Yeah, some big swoops. Yeah, you'll go in one direction for a little bit. And then just notice the pace that you're moving and connect your breath with it. So the elbows go up with your inhales and down with your exhales. Yeah, and sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes we get into a bodily movement, we get into some physical habit, and then we bring the awareness in. We're like, oh yes, this. Good, make your circles the other way. Good. Another breath. Great. Now we're actually going to touch our armpits now and just kind of get in there. It's kind of like what they call it, manual lymphatic draining. Basically, all of your lymph is right underneath your skin, right above your muscles. So you're not going enough to compress and feel the muscles. You're just gently pressing, and I'll show you on my skin here. Just gently pressing and moving the skin a little bit. It's great that I have a tattoo, so you can see that the skin is actually being moved visually. But yeah, that's what we'll be doing at our armpits. We're just moving the skin around. And yeah, maybe you don't normally touch your armpits, and that's okay. It probably isn't what the average human does, but here we are. We're doing it. We're doing it so we can help further release stuff. Yeah, and if you were on one armpit this whole time, go to the other one. And you're gonna get like the whole surface region of it. So not just one section, but really encompassing all of the area of your armpit. Yeah, just moving the skin around. There's no wrong way to do it as long as you're moving the skin and getting it stimulated here. Awesome. Let's bring our hands onto our laps now and just tune into the spine as we're seated here. Let's take a few moments to ground ourselves, to notice anything that we feel in our chest, shoulders, armpits, and just take a few breaths. So notice the seat, notice the low back, notice the hips and the pelvis. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Let's breathe in and out. Good. In and out. One more breath in. And let it out. Good. We're going to come into spinal movements now. If being on your hands and knees or shins is uncomfortable, you can do seated cat-cows. Otherwise, we can come to other cat-cows. I feel like the lighting is better this way, so I'm readjusting my screen. Yeah, we can go on into some spinal movements. So it can be back and forth, front and back. Don't forget some side to side, some curly Q motions. Yeah, noticing anything between your ribs here. And as we're moving through our cat-cows, the entire spine is getting benefit here. The awareness might be focused in the heart center still. So really noticing like the collarbone spreading out when you're in your cow. And when you're in your cat, you might notice the very back middle part between your shoulder blades. Yeah, plenty of movement here. So one thing about the energy behind the Three of Swords, like the sense of loss and betrayal. Maybe your mind told you something that wasn't true when it came to relationships or emotions. So it's a sense of like, kind of processing that. And it can be a lot, it can be heavy, it can be murky. And if you recall in the image, there was like this tar-like black drippiness dripping from that part. Good, we're gonna continue to really move and shake up this region of our body. So any more movements, your next exhale will create a straight spine. We'll tune into our tabletop. If you are in a tabletop, of course, you can still be seated here. But while we're in tabletop, we feel this groundedness, the hands flat on the floor, those fingers can spread wide. And you're feeling the knees, the shins, and the top of the feet on the floor as well. Maybe a little micro bend in the elbow. Good. So we're going to bring our hand to our right shoulder and make some shoulder rolls again. This can be intuitive. The hand doesn't necessarily have to be on the shoulder, but feel a bend in that elbow. And the elbow is the point in which you're making your circles. You're kind of flapping around like a wing a little bit, going out. And just notice the direction that you initially chose to make your circles. Are you going backwards? Are you going forwards? I'm not going to say there's a right or wrong. Just notice what you initially chose to do. Good. And then go make your circles the other way and notice how that feels. And as you're moving too, feel stability in the other parts of the body. So feel the parts of the body touching the floor, leveling out. Great. And then we're going to reach that right arm forward now, bicep by the ear. Nice long neck. It's an extension of the spine here. Nice long fingers too, just kind of reaching. Good. We're going to curl our right toes under and extend that left leg with the left toes curled under. And if you would like to practice balance, you can lift that back leg off the floor and see this long line, or more like feel this long line in your body between the toes and those right fingers. And can you stay here with this sense of balance, with the sense of hugging in towards the midline? Beautiful. Big breath in. And with an exhale, bring the hand and the knee back down to the floor. Good. Now reach that right arm towards the right side, palm faces down. You can bring your gaze to look at the hand here. And with your inhale, reach that arm up a little bit to open the chest towards the right. And with your exhale, thread the needle. We're gonna bring that shoulder down. Good, and this left arm might extend. You can bring the left forearm to the floor. Another option is bringing the back of the left hand to your low back. Maybe it reaches the outer hip. Good. Good, we'll take another breath together here. When you're ready, we're gonna release and come back to all fours. Good. And then we're gonna come to a supported side plank with that right arm up and the right leg back. We're gonna bring the inner arch of the foot down onto the floor. That left knee is like a kickstand. And it's your choice in terms of where you put your arms. So maybe the shoulders are stacked. It might feel nice to look up towards that hand. Or maybe you really ground down in that left foot. And again, you revisit that sense of one long line between fingers and toes so you can reach that right arm up. And if you do this, you might notice something different in your rib cage and your chest. Good, we're embodying some strengthening poses for this. Because it does take strength to get through betrayal, grief, loss, disappointment. But those are all just words. And that is what this card is. It's a swords card. So it's just the words of it. It's just the concept of it. It doesn't mean that you have to feel disappointed, that there's anything that was lost within yourself. Let's take another breath. Wonderful. Back to all fours. Some intuitive cat-cow, spinal movement. And then we're just gonna take a moment to feel the difference on the right side versus the left here. Good, let's bring the left hand to the left shoulder or just bending that elbow. We're gonna make our circles on the other side. Good, so continuing that thought here, let's remember not to identify with these feelings. Again, they're just words. We're not identifying with it. There's nothing defective, deficient with us. It is, unfortunately, just a part of being human, having a heart and having hurt. Make your circles go in the other direction now. Tune into the other parts of your body too. Great, left arm comes forward, right toes extend back, curling all the toes under for balance. Spreading those right fingers nice and wide too, protect that wrist, maybe a little micro bend in your elbow. And if you want, you can lift that back leg now and we can feel this hold. Feel your strength. Feel the challenge. Deep breath. Wonderful. Another breath in together. Good. And exhale, lower. Wonderful. Left arm to the side now, just to hover to find it. The hand, the gaze can look at the hand. Good. With an inhale, we lift it up so the chest opens a bit more. And we exhale to thread the needle on the other side. Good. And just allow yourself to really rest into this. And each breath, you can scan your body, scan the space between your shoulder blades, scan the jaw, wherever you might hold some chronic tension, wherever that black tar might be built up. Good. We'll take another breath. Good. And let's release, come back. And then we'll come to our supported side plank on the other side. So left leg is extended. And left arm as well. Good. From that same guidebook that helped me ask, what have my greatest challenges empowered me? There's an affirmation written in here, my challenges feed me strength. So maybe we can repeat this mantra as we're in this strengthening pose. My challenges feed me strength. I love that use of the word feed. Good, another breath. Excellent. Come back to center. And now a downward facing dog. Just so we can stretch through the backs of our legs and lengthen through the spine. Maybe you lift and lower your heels, bend and straighten your knees. My challenges feed me strength. Yeah, feeding, nourishing, we're digesting it, we're consuming it. And the strength is now entering us. Good, 3 breaths together here. Let's breathe in and out. Another breath in and out. Good, one more round of breath. And out. Good, we're gonna make our way onto our bellies. If you want, you might come to a high plank for a bit first. It's another challenge, another opportunity to feed yourself strength. And there's no length of time in which you need to do this. We will all make our way to our bellies. We will all find a little moment to just rest and melt into the floor face down. Maybe you do a chaturanga to get there. Maybe the knees come down and then you lower yourself. Maybe it's like a knees, chest, chin situation. But eventually, let's just lie face down. The arms might be down by your sides, or maybe they're out open to your sides. The palms might face up, palms might face down. Connecting with the floor beneath you. Connecting with the front of your body. Yeah. Let's tune into the Hermit now. Hermitude, solitude, sanctuary, meditation. A genuine meditation retreat, as in you're retreating from something and coming into yourself. Good, we're gonna scan the body. Let's notice the tops of the feet on the floor. Notice the thighs on the floor, and the pelvis, and the belly, and the chest. I'm gonna do a round of some back bends here. We're gonna start with little baby cobras. Root down in the tops of your feet and your pelvis so you can engage in the legs a little bit. So your back is protected. And the hands are gonna come onto the ground outside the rib cage. Full palms or just the fingertips, your choice. Then we're gonna inhale to lift that chest up. Again, just like a little baby cobra. Whenever you exhale, we'll lower. We'll do a few rounds of this, just continuing to build, lifting, and lowering. Yeah, your own breath is setting the pace here. And then whenever you inhale next, just kind of lean towards the left a little bit, and then bring it down. And then go towards the right, maybe like a little rotation, and then bring it down. Just listening to yourself. We're kind of connecting with our rib cage here in our shoulders as well, shoulder blades. Yeah, the legs are still engaged. This helps protect the low back. And then whenever you breathe in next, we're gonna come to a Sphinx pose. So the forearms come flat down. Good, and take a couple moments. Feel this regalness of a Sphinx, of that famous statue. Soften the muscles of the face and the jaw and the throat. Noticing the shoulders over the elbows. Good. Turn the chin towards the right shoulder. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. Good. Come back to center. Bring the gaze over the other shoulder now. And take a breath. Wonderful, back to center. One more breath in. Let's lift the gaze for this one. Exhale out the mouth. I feel that throat. Wonderful. And now we'll just come back onto our bellies. Just take a couple moments here. You might stack your hands, bring the forehead down. Good. Notice your feet. And then gently tap the tops of the feet onto the floor. So like kind of butterfly little kicks with your feet. Just so you can feel that physical connection of your feet coming down to the ground. Good, and now let's bend our knees and just drop our feet from side to side a little bit. You'll notice that your thigh is going against the floor now, and the pelvis as well. Good, and now we're just gonna roll on over onto our backs. Yeah, this has been an upper body, a chest body focused class, but let's notice our hips for these next few moments. Let's hug our knees into our chest. You can feel any stretch, any lengthening in the backs of your thighs, the backs of your glutes. Maybe you do straighten one leg at a time, just to kind of say hello to your lower body. Yeah, you might kind of rock from side to side here. Good, let's come to a figure 4 on the right side first. So let's bring the right outer ankle to that left top of your thigh. And there's 2 ways to do this. That left foot can be grounded right on the floor. Heel in line with your hip. Or maybe you have that lifted up instead and you're hugging it in, interlacing the hands behind the left thigh. Yeah, find it in your body and then hold it for a bit. And breathe fully and deeply into this right hip. Hermit is the card that comes right after strength in order of the major arcana. It takes strength to find solitude and retreat. And it's an important part of enlightenment. Inquiry. What deeper lessons am I ready to receive? Good. Take another deep breath. Good. We're going to come to a spinal twist now. You might wrap that right leg on top of the left, or maybe you stack your knees. We're going to drop it over to the left so we can twist and bring our gaze to the right here. So again, it's your choice. If you want to have the legs wrapped around one another, you can kind of feel like this sense of wrapping deeper within yourself. But of course, you are always welcome to just come to your twist in a way that's comfortable. But the hips are stacked and they're facing the left. Your chest might be facing the ceiling and your right arm and your gaze going over to the right. So feel all of these different planes, all of these directions. Good, deep breath. With your exhale, let all of the air out. Return to your back when you're ready. Good. Let's do a brief little round of a couple bridges. Maybe it's one bridge that you hold for a long time. Maybe you do a few rounds, but we'll just lift our pelvis up. Just get a little back bend. And if you're doing it with your breath, the inhale might lift the pelvis up and the exhale might lower it. Good. I'm giving the option here. It's your choice if you want to just do one held for a while. Good. Filling this next breath with bridge however you want. Good. Then you'll release that back bend. Let's come to our figure four on the left side now. What deeper lessons am I ready to receive? Take another breath. Fully release the exhale. And then make your way to your twist. Legs wrapped or not. Yeah, just twisting to the left. And take another breath. Fully release the exhale. Like a towel being wrung out, feel this twist. Good, and return to your back. One last moment for any position you want your body to be in. We didn't really do a symmetrical hip opener, so maybe like a happy baby, maybe Supta Baddha Konasana. Maybe one more heart opener if you want to come to like a fish, bringing the top of the head to the floor so you can lift your heart up. Those arms are down along your side. And anything I didn't put words to, feel free to move around. Then we'll come to Shavasana, lying on our backs or any other position you want your body to be in. Might not be directly on your back. Maybe you're on your side. Maybe you're on your belly. Let's invite the archetypes of these cards into our final moments together, all of them together. So Page of Cups, the archetype of inquiring what is in the emotional realm, some curiosity of what we're holding in our cups, and starting a relationship with that part of ourselves. As we entered that part of ourselves, we revealed the Three of Swords, this piercing loss, potential betrayal, rewiring of our thoughts when it comes to safety of our heart, of our love. And then moving into the Hermit, choosing to withdraw so you can connect a little deeper. We are empowered by our challenges. The gift is strength. Let's embody this. We did so many strengthening poses, and now it takes strength to just lay still. It takes a different type of strength. We can feel it through awareness. Let's scan our bodies, starting with the feet. Noticing the feet and the ankles. Softening through the shins and calves and unlocking the knees. The awareness goes up along the thighs and centering into the hips and pelvis. Noticing the low back and the belly, the side body, rib cage, chest, shoulders, shoulder blades. Bringing it down through the arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, palms, fingers. And lastly, the awareness comes to our face, our head, the tongue in our mouths, the eyes in our eye sockets. My challenges feed my strength. Begin to deepen your breath. Re-enter your body. Any movements you want to make, fingers, toes. You can brush your lips and teeth with your tongue. Maybe a big outward stretch, like a starfish. Maybe you hug the knees into your chest. You might even lift the forehead towards your knees, really curl it in, actively engage in this. Let's roll onto our sides for a moment to pause and reflect and recenter ourselves. And with these cards and archetypes, I recommend a balance of being present and working with the tougher feelings, but also thinking forward, encouraging moving on and releasing. It can be tough finding the balance between the two, being present and also moving on. And just remind yourself you're doing the best you can. You are doing your best. When you're ready, we can come to a seat. We can face one another and connect with our hearts, however feels right physically. An invitation to join me in chanting an Om here. So we're in sync. We'll inhale and we'll sigh to sync our breath. And then the next inhale will lead to our chant. So we'll breathe in. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for this practice. Thank you. Have a great night.